Doodlebud here. Today I'm going to tell you my favorite green ink. I have tried many green inks. It has taken me several years to get to the point where I finally have what I think, at least for now, is the green ink I like the most. I'll go through some of the other competitors. These aren't even all my green inks. I have a bunch more, but the ones I sort of enjoy, and then I'll tell you which is my number one green ink. So let's get into it. Now, to be honest, I really don't know why it has taken me so long to find the right green ink, and all the other ones have sort of disappointed me. I have tons of blue inks, and I'm sort of okay with if it's not the perfect blue. I still use it anyways, but when it comes to green, there's been something I've been looking for, and it just hasn't been satisfied until now. So let's go through some of the competitors. Oh, here's a tip. If you have a bunch of Robert Oster inks out, and they're all sitting here and you're going to use them and go between, don't just take all the caps off and put them aside, because then the bottles look exactly the same, especially if it's green inks that are quite similar. The color's on the cap. So just be warned, just one at a time, or you can mix up the caps with the bottles. Now you have no idea what you have. Fortunately, I discovered that was a potential before I got into it. So the first one is this one here, Ride Green. I quite like it. It's a nice vibrant green. I think the tone is quite good. Nothing, over the top, but I don't know. It looks nice. I just haven't loved it, but so far I think it's my favorite green that I have. And then I also got the green. I really like the Ride Green. I wanted something just slightly different. Actually, I might have bought them at the same time. I think I was indecisive, actually. Yes, I was at the Vancouver. I remember now. I was at the Vancouver pen shop, and I was eyeing the two. I went to mountainofink.com like everyone sort of does. If you haven't been to that site, go to that site. It's going to help you a lot with deciding ink colors and ink properties. They even had a swatch book at the Vancouver pen shop. Still couldn't make up my mind. Whoops, good thing the cap was on. And so I got them both. Now, the green is a little bit brighter, if you can see the comparison there. Let me move the light here if that helps. I think of like a bright apple green when I see that color. So a little bit more brightness to it. I guess similar shading, but it just shows a bit more. But I haven't used the green much for daily stuff. I find it's too bright. Robert Oster, again, Tulip Fields. This is from the Dutch Pen Show 2023. Not so much of a daily one, but I do like the color on its own. I did shake it up so you can see the shimmer. It is a shimmer ink, and I think it does quite a nice job. The lighting is just not going to do this justice. You got to catch shimmer inks just right. Oh, I think we can see you after I'm just bumping everything. There it is there. So it's got a nice bit of a shimmer to it. It looks really good for elegant writing. I did a video where I used a dip pen and was writing with it, and I really like how it looks for that. But again, I'm not going to use that on the daily. California Teal, I dipped it. So I have my little bottle over here. This was the pen I was using. This is the Crusado Kakari. It's got a gold fine point nib, ebonite feed, so it's just a wet pen in general. And California Teal is a pretty wet ink, and so this is really coming out extra wet. I do like the color, but I find it's troublesome, especially when it comes to cleaning. Also, I find it smudges quite a bit, especially in the summer if your hands are the slightest bit moist and you're writing. If you're perspiring just the hairest amount, it's going to smudge and get all over you. And also for cleaning out a pen, it's quite saturated. I find it's just a bit of a pain. Unless you do a perfect job of cleaning off the cap, it'll get all crusty and stuck and shut. So I like the color. The performance, as far as a daily regular usage ink, not my cup of tea. Another Monteverde ink I quite enjoy, but I only have it in cartridge. I've come very close to ordering a bottle, but that is this emerald green. Here it looks a little different because I used a different pen. This is my 5040 Pocket GT titanium. I really do like this ink, the emerald green. Nice tone to it, nothing over the top. I think it looks good for daily usage. And so I think this is my second box of it. I don't know why I never bought a bottle, but I wanted to have some cartridges, and I like this green so much. I thought, let's just buy a bunch of these in cartridges. So this could be my second or third time I purchased a cartridge pack from them. Just never bought the bottle, but anytime I need a cartridge, it's either Pelican 4001 Royal Blue or my Monteverde Emerald Green. I really have nothing against it. I like the color quite a bit. On to the next one is Private Reserve Avocado. It's an interesting one. Again, it's one of those inks it's quite wet. And the other thing, I find it does crust up fairly easy. I don't know, maybe it's my bottle. I'm not the hugest fan of their bottle style. I find it's so wide that you don't even have to have a big pen. You go to put it in, you're already below the filling hole, the breather hole there. So it's a little tricky. But yeah, you can see here now I should do a better job of cleaning this up. I'm so nervous to move this and spill everything, but see those crusties there? Now this is extreme because it's in the bottle. I find they do sort of show up more in pens. I don't know. I find it does kind of crust up in a pen a little bit. This isn't the best representation because it's a super wet ink and that's a wet pen, and I dipped it and it was quite wet. But it's a much darker green. I do enjoy it, but it's just a little bit too much trouble, sort of like a California teal. The last one on the list before I reveal to you the green I'm going with now. I only received this in a sample. This is the Noodler's, I'm just going to call it Cactus Green. This is the proper name they give it. I actually really like this. I was very motivated to pick up a bottle, and I didn't because I got the other one I'm about to show you, but I actually really like the color. It's sort of a perfect mix of a few of the ones I like. Not quite as bright as these, a little bit darker, slightly different tone, well, quite a bit of a different tone from the emerald, but this is very close to the type of green I'm looking for. It has nice shading. I do like it. The only reason I didn't get a bottle, I did sample fill a couple pens out of this. One of them had a fine nib even, and I found unless you're always using really, really good paper, I do get a bit more feathering and even bleed through. So I think it's just one of those fairly saturated inks, or at least low surface tension. If I'm not using the best paper all the time, or even some of my good paper, but a wet writer, I find it's just a little bit too much. Lastly, I'll give an honorable mention because I just don't have it here, but it's another Monteverde ink. It's their Jade Noir. It's a very dark green. It's like a green black, so even darker than this. If you're looking for an ink, you need to use dark inks, but you want a little color and you're playing with green, Monteverde Jade Noir. I've really, really liked it. Actually, I'm out of it because I used the bottle up and I haven't replenished since. But this is it right here. This is the Mont Blanc Irish Green. I knew about this ink forever. I never bought a bottle. I don't know why. It looked really good in all the reviews and color swatches I've seen. I just never bought it. And then it really came down to, am I going to get the Cactus Green or the Mont Blanc Irish Green? I thought, let's just go get the Irish Green. I've been thinking about it way too much, so I picked it up, and I have not looked back. I've been super, super happy with this. What I'm going to do is ink up the pen, do a writing. It's fairly close to this one, so it's a good contender, but let me show you how it looks and just tell you a little bit more about it and why I love it. I do have to say the Mont Blanc bottles are one of my favorite ink bottles that they are. Their inks aren't outrageously expensive. Relatively speaking to their pens, of course, you can get inks at a much more reasonable price than the Mont Blanc ones, but they're not insane. They're actually reasonably reasonable. So let's ink it up here. I'm going to disengage the piston, drive it down, pop it in, pull it up. I thought this would be a good pen because it's a demonstrator. All right. Screw that back in. Put the plunger down. Snug it off, and we are done. Let me just give this a quick wipe, put the bottle away, and let's start writing. So there we go. If I could only have one green ink forever, This is the one. I just like it. There's a little bit of a closer look. Like I said in the writing sample here, vibrant, but not too much. It's well behaved. It's got some nice shading to it, but nothing else that's too crazy. Cleaning, that's such a big one to me. It flushes out nice and easy. You're not getting crust up in the cap of the pen. And as a bit of a bonus, it's a pretty cool looking bottle, and it's very convenient when it comes to filling. So they actually are quite a good and practical bottle. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from you down below. What are your favorite green inks, or what is your number one favorite green inks? Again, I have a bunch of other ones, Diamine, Sherwood Green, so-so. You know, just nothing has put me over the edge. Very close second here. I still might end up getting a bottle, but I think I should at least finish this one off, or finish something off before I get any more inks, especially green ones. We'll leave it there for now. Like I said, let me know down on the bottom if you liked the video. Thumbs ups are cool. Subscribes are awesome. Joins even better. Going to shoot another video probably right after this, so we'll catch you next time.